Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do an unboxing of the brand new Red Magic 5G. This device features a Snapdragon 865, an X55 modem for 5G, but not only that, the fastest display on a mobile gaming device to date, the 144Hz display on the Nubia Red Magic 5G. Make sure to check out their website. They're running actually a campaign where you're able to win some of the stuff. And not only that, I'll give you guys links in the description below to find out more about when this is going to be available and when the pre-orders are going to start. When it comes to specifications, we're looking basically at the Snapdragon 865, the X55 modem, a 6.65-inch, 144Hz AMOLED display. We obviously have the turbo fans with liquid cooling, a triple camera setup, gaming gaming triggers here that gives us the ability of controlling the game. Those were definitely present from previous generations of Red Magic devices. Of course, we have a customizable RGB light strip in the back, and the same way we've had them in the past. And of course, gaming sound with DTS 7.1. We have 8 GB of DDR5 RAM here and 128 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage built in. A 4500 milliamp battery and of course aptX audio aptX for Qualcomm, as well as 5G installed directly in the box. Now, opening up the box, we're greeted right away with the actual device. This is the Red Magic 5G, and we can definitely see the Red Magic 5G logo here, as well as the Nubia, the Red Magic logo sitting there. The rest of the stuff in the box are pretty simple. We have a USB-C to USB-A connector that's going to be able to charge up our device. We have the charger that comes inside of the box. That's a standard European style with USB-A connectivity to it in the back. Last but not least, we have the instruction manual, as well as the, obviously, SIM ejector tool that's included in the box. Now, what we have as far as the specifications, as you guys see, the design is definitely very unique. It's very smooth, very different than what we've seen in the past. We have that X logo going on in the back, a light up RGB light, as well as a logo built into the actual unit. You can kind of see them right there, and the logo does light up. 5G with the Red Magic moniker here. A triple camera setup, a 64, an 8, and a 2. Standard focal length, ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro lens with a dual tone LED flash. On the side, we have those 2 air triggers that we talked about and we've seen in different devices from Red Magic in the past. This is going to be the exhaust fan, opening for the air, since we have still have the fans built in there, as well as the volume rocker and the power button. Last but not least, on the top, we also have a 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone. On the side, we still have that game launcher button that we've seen in the past with Red Magic devices, the intake air opening, as well as the intake air opening, as well as the pogo pins for the dock if you have the accessories. Unfortunately, I did not receive any of those accessories with us this time. A bottom 5-inch speaker, USB-C, and a dual SIM supporting SIM tray here, and of course one of the other microphones. The bottom 5-inch speaker married with the top speaker will give us the ability of getting the DTS 7.1 sound that we were talking about, and of course that great gaming experience. In-display fingerprint sensor with a 12 megapixel camera on the front, and of course, let's go ahead and unlock it. We get access to the actual unit, and it looks very, very nice. As far as the overall aesthetics and the UI and what we get here, this is basically the standard launcher version 3.0 of the Red Magic UI. We have an app drawer that we're able to basically just swipe up to get into. We have the Google Feed on the left side. We do have a native dark mode support. Since this is running Android 10.0 out of the box, we can scroll down. Everything is pretty much categorized as normal. Under the display is where you'll be able to change the different configurations between 60, 90, and 144 Hz. Keeping in mind that even when you're running at 90 or 144 Hz, if the application that you're using is not supported under the 144 Hz refresh rate, or it does not support it, it will default back to the standard maximum resolution. And there's a little bit of a disclaimer on it here. So even though we say 144 at the top, the UI will benefit from it, but if the application doesn't, that's not going to happen. We do have dark mode natively supported. I did turn that on, and as you can see right there, it permeates throughout the system. We have some more configuration for sound, LED always on display, colorful light effects that's going to take us directly into the actual setup for the RGBs that we have on the back, which actually get turned on when we're in the device in gaming mode. We do have Neo AI for basically smart game and Neo speed. Last but not least, we do have a docking station support. Unfortunately, I don't have that unit. Last but not least, of course, we also have the ability of going into configuring Super Snap, split screen, as well as one-handed mode that is natively supported here. And you're able to activate it in the manner that you normally activate the Google Assistant. We can go into privacy, app information, location, software update. You can go and configure it. The version that I have here is version 3.0.2. So it's basically version 3 of the operating system with Android 10.0. Now, as far as the camera application, we have different modes. Obviously, camera family will show us all the different options. The dual sensors are generally used for the wide-angle lens and the standard focal length, and of course the macro lens for the third sensor that we have in the back. Pro mode, photo mode, and video mode. Video mode on this is actually a little bit different. On the back sensor, the maximum resolution is 8K and it's recommended for outdoor use. I think that's the same disclaimer we saw last year with the Red Magic 3 and the 3S. But as far as 4K 60, that's going to be compatible on the back sensor as well as standard 4K. If we switch over to the front-facing sensor, it's a little bit different, and I'm not sure why, but we're actually capped to 1080p. I'm hoping to be able to get an update on this to give us a better resolution, at least 4K, if not 4K 60, as we've seen it on other devices on the market. We have night mode, of course, and portrait mode, but let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and play some music real quick just to show you guys how good the speakers sound on this device. And for that, we're going to go ahead and raise the volume all the way to the max, and then, of course, we're going to be playing Jumbo by Alex Crindo. This is an NCS song. And as you can imagine, the audio sounds absolutely fantastic. Now let's go ahead and just jump over real quick to the actual gaming launcher, which by actually all you need to do is switch over that little switch at the top left. And that jumps you straight into the actual gaming launcher, which is really the main benefit that you get here. Optimizes the system, closes any running applications running in the background, and basically just gives you that focused gaming experience. And of course, we have the RGB lights, color, and well, actually working pretty much the way they are intended. As you can see, the Red Magic name does actually permeate. I have a couple of games here installed. I have basically Arena of Valor, we have PUBG Mobile, as well as Rail Racing. Now, they're all rated to actually be able to use the benefit of a higher refresh rate than 60 frames per second, depending on the game we're playing. We have a side launcher that gives us access to be able to change the refresh rate. 4D Shock is only compatible right now with Asphalt 9 as well as PUBG Mobile, so you're able to turn that on. We have the ability of turning on the touch buttons, which are also only capable of running here. Let's go and open it up. And what I mean by touch buttons, you're able to configure them by going and replacing the right and left, and that just enables you to actually use the triggers at the top left. And then, of course, when you're ready, you can use them in the game. 4D Shock did get turned on, Super Snap is installed here, and of course, you can block calls and messages so you have uninterrupted gaming at its best. And when you're done, all you have to do basically jump back to game space, and it takes you back here. And of course, I'll go ahead and show you guys some samples of some of the video gameplay that I had with this device. And then when you're done, all you have to do is basically switch the switch off, and then you're back to the standard launcher. So my initial impressions of the Red Magic 5G are still in their early stages. I've only had this device for the first couple of days now, and overall, I'm actually quite pleased. We're getting literally the best that the 865 or Qualcomm has to offer us. We're talking about the Snapdragon 865, we're talking about the X55 modem, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage. We're also talking about 144 Hz refresh rate. Now, this is all obviously going to be capped by the applications that you're using. So if a game does not support 144, the device will default down to the maximum refresh rate that game would work. I do love the fact that we have a secondary launcher for gaming, and of course the ability of using it. And of course it does automatically optimize for gaming whenever you're turning it on. You're able to turn on and turn off the fan, swiping through the different games, customizing it with a side launcher. And of course, when you're done, turn it off and go back to running the game normally. The cameras that we have here should be able to provide us a good experience, and we are going to cover them obviously in our full review, both in a video as well as an article over on the portal. But what I would love for you to guys let me know in the comments below, what is basically the features that you guys are looking forward to on the Red Magic 5G, and have you used other Red Magic devices in the past, as they've always been basically focused on gaming, but of course providing it to us at a very good, basically very functional experience. So the Red Magic 5G is here. Thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe, and make sure you check out my channel for a more in-depth video on this. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video.